dad. Something I got to do too. I want to talk about role models. Typically, for most of us, we have somebody that we look up to, right? You know, if in some form or fashion, some shape, somehow, some people we look up to, and a lot of times we will pattern our lives, our decisions, our way of thinking. We, pattern that off of that person, or if nothing else, we will at least take their opinions, their thoughts into consideration. That's good to a degree. It is really good to have wise counsel, because when we're in situations, we're in it. And so we see it from in it. So I would see the inside of this bottle from inside if I was in it. So, but what that means is everything that I see around me will be somewhat distorted, right? Because I mean, there's words here. I mean, there's a whole panel right here. So I'm going to see this differently, possibly, than what it actually is. And it takes someone who was removed from the situation, someone who was outside, on the outside looking in. It takes somebody like that in order to give you proper insight. It takes someone like that in order to give you proper, even direction, because you can't fully see, right? And granted, we like to be independent. A lot of us like to do things on our own, but a lot of times we can't. And we tend to make a mess of whatever it is that we're dealing with because of the fact that we're trying to do it on our own. Okay. So I'm not saying that you have to have a role model, but what I'm saying is, they can be good. I get it. Okay. And nothing to me. I know people look to me for a lot of things. I get that. It's just, it comes with the territory. I get that. But I think it's always good. I think it's very good to have some sort of positive influence in your life, because there are those days, and I have them. Okay, I'm not exempt from any of this. There are those days when you just aren't feeling positivity. Okay, and there's nothing wrong with that. Just all that makes you is human. The fact that you just, I'm just not feeling today. I've had those days. I'm not invincible to those situations. You can ask my mods. There are many days, even with the supporter push, I say, look, I'm done. I don't want to do it. I don't see it happening, so I don't want to do it. I don't want to waste my time. And then it's exhausting, and I don't feel like I'm going to make it. But I put in all this work. I put in all this time, all this effort. I'm exhausted. I put other things on the back burner to do this. There are other things that I really could be doing, some things I need to do, but I've set them on hold to try to get this done. And if I don't, then I'm gonna feel like, well, I could have went ahead and did those things. It was a waste, all of those things. And then, but it is somebody else who says, but wait a minute. But wait. First off, we're not even to that point where you can say that, because I'm in my head. Second of all, okay, so it didn't happen today. Tomorrow's a brand new day. We need those people that give us a swift kick in the behind, a swift kick in the wherever that we need it, to get us going, to get us moving. All right. So, what I'm not saying is to search out these people. I'm not saying that you need to go out and have a whole application process for, something like that. But what I am saying is, at some point you'll come across somebody, and this is just how I feel. I feel like at some point you'll come across somebody who can be there for you, even if it's not a permanent thing. It might be a passing through. It may be a temporary thing. But the fact of the matter is, there is somebody for everybody. And I'm not even talking about in a romantic type relationship, just whether it's a friendship. It could be somebody that you just speak to in passing. You never know where that is, right? Which is why it pays to be friendly. That's why it pays not to be rude. That's why it pays and is advantageous not to be grumpy and salty all the time. You never know what or who you're entertaining when you come in contact with people. You never know that. It could be the very one who, when they open your mouth, has the very thing that you need, but you were rude to them. So what do you expect from them? Sure. Well, I didn't know. Well, you make sure you treat people better. And sure, that may not necessarily be a role model, but it's just somebody who was there to have a positive effect in your life. There it is, to affect your life positively. And it's usually at the time right when you need it. It's usually right at that point when you need it the most that a lot of times we tend to reject it, and not just by what we say, but by what we do. The very appearance on our face can deter somebody from saying anything to you. That is the very breakthrough. That is the very source of strength that you need in that moment. All right. So even in your downtrodden days, even in your days where you're just as blue as can be, still the best you can. Well, no, not the best you can. Still make sure that you are not projecting that on other people. Here's the thing. It's not my fault that anything happened to you. It's not my fault. I hate it, but that's not my fault. So I shouldn't have to suffer the consequences for something I didn't do. How would you feel if you had to suffer consequences for something you didn't do? You would have a problem. Extreme type of circumstance, but how would you feel if you went to jail for a crime you didn't commit? We would all have a problem. We would all have a problem with that. So then it's not in jail, but you subject people to consequences that are not justified to them when we do that. But then somebody do it to us, then we got a problem. So don't do that, right? Because again, you never know who you're coming in contact with. You never know who it is. What is that smell? That smells really good. You never know who it is that you're interacting with. Yo, dude, you just missed it, my dude. Time traveler, you literally just missed it. You never know who it is that you're going to come in contact with, and they can influence you to do things that are in your best interest. I know personally, again, nothing to me. I know personally, I've been that to some people, and it's honestly a humbling experience. That the things that I go through, GG's dude, we just got out of Kamek Woods. The things that I go through, the things that I go through, I literally bring them to you all. It's a real thing. I had a conversation today. And somebody said to me, "Hey, look, I know you can appreciate this." They said to me, I had two people come to me in conversation and tell me, without the other two knowing, that they look up to me. That's what the person told me that was told to them. And they're like, "Well, I don't know what to do with that." I said, "Well, I've got a situation here." I said, "Because I do too." And the reason for this particular thing was, this particular person understands me better than people who've known me for years. There are people in my life who I've known that I understand. Per their admission, they don't understand how I understand them, but they know that I understand them. But the issue, what's up, Jamie? But the issue is, it doesn't happen in reverse. That's the problem. And so, sure, I can understand them, but they don't understand me. Then I get misjudged. And then at some point, I'm like, well, I'll just leave you there because you're actually doing more harm than good. But to find somebody who understands me on my level, yes, I do. And to have the experiences that they've had, I do. I look up to them. And I've told them that, that's a thing. But at the same time, I can glean something from everybody, because we've all had different experiences. We've all had different circumstances. We all are different. And just because I do something one way doesn't mean it's the right way. My mother didn't raise everybody, right? Nor did yours. So the way we do things may be completely different. Doesn't make one better than the other. Just makes them different. That's all. It just makes one different. Who's to say that one doesn't work better? We don't know that. But I can't say that you're wrong, you're always wrong, and I'm always right because of where I was raised. We should be able to pull from here, pull from there, put it all together. I've said this before. Take what works, hold on to it. What doesn't, you toss it, and you move on. All right? And like I always say, that is the way that you take care of yourselves and you take care of each other. All right? And I said this before, that when these people are attempting to assist you because they care about you and you don't, how selfish. Because what you're saying is, I don't need your help. I got it. Or I don't like how you're helping me, so please don't help me. That's what you're saying. without realizing it. Please don't help me. I need help, but don't help me because I can do this all by myself, and you obviously can't. And as much as they are willing and want to help you, you reject them out of pride and whatever else. So don't do that. And we're done. All right. Listen, have a great night. I appreciate all of you hanging out. It was very tense for